right now, seeing what's going on with tech. But again, I got my feet on the ground, relaxing. I will wait it out until they start showing up in droves, and they will eventually.
A bear market is an investor's best friend. I promise you I will steal that and try my best to give you credit. I won't always make it, so if anyone ever sends you a video...
Your Parkinson's may have been caused by the herbicide paraquat, and you may be entitled to compensation. Call 1-800-731-3333. That's 1-800-731-3333.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. Alkimi is a decentralized replacement for the current, sometimes inefficient ad exchanges. And Alkimi has a mission to restore value for advertisers, publishers, and also users. And with me, CEO Ben Potley, to talk about Alkimi and the company and what it is you're trying to do, Ben. So welcome. And I guess let's start with an overview. What is Alkimi?
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me. That was a great explanation. I'll try and do as good a job of explaining it myself. But essentially, myself and our co-founders have worked in advertising our entire careers, and we saw lots of issues with the current centralized system. So we have developed decentralized infrastructure that allows advertisers, publishers, and users to see more value from what is a $340 billion advertising market.
Mm-hmm. Well, no doubt about it. This market has been disrupted over the past few years and continues to be. So explain how it works. So like say I'm an advertiser, how do I use Alkimi?
So essentially the programmatically traded ads work a lot like eBay, for example, whereby there is an item or a user that an advertiser wants to target with a particular ad. They will then bid on that cookie in real time, with the highest bidder then winning the auction and then delivering the ad to that user.
Okay, very interesting. And Web3, what kind of impact would that have?
So I think like if you look at the whole kind of Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 story, like Web 1 was simply just reading on the internet, you know, it was pictures of newspapers that were online. And then Web 2 kind of ushered in this read-write scenario where you and I could leave comments on an article, and businesses like Facebook came in and kind of actually created some value in the like, you know, like you and I have some kind of perceived value in a like as far as like social equity is concerned. And then brands now have actually also seen values in likes, shares, views of content on these platforms, which arguably was kind of like the first NFTs really, you know, like a non-fungible like has value defined by brands and users. You know, Web3 will really be about the user in general. You know, there's open source solutions that can be created and forked for particular use cases, and Alkimi Exchange actually brings the user into this auction for the first time, because it's our data that is sold and bought by advertisers, you know, but we don't really see much value from that other than free content. But you get free content anywhere now, and that is not going to suffice as we move kind of into the future in the Web3 world.
Right. Well, I did say users would see some value here. So how would it work as a consumer?
So essentially, there would be no real difference to you when you visited your favorite website. It is using the existing infrastructure. So there's infrastructure called OpenRTB. It's an open source protocol that allows ads to be traded between different parties. And that really is kind of like the first oracle that ever existed. It was kind of transforming me as a human being into a biddable bit of data that an advertiser would use to send a particular ad to. So I think we've been left out of that. I mean, advertisers make a lot of money, Facebook and Google make a lot of money, publishers make a lot of money, and you and I, who are providing the data, don't really get much for that. And actually, we've seen annoying ads come into place. You may block an ad. You've probably seen a lot of cookie notices that now appear. And I think that the web has it's not unregulated per se, but it's like a much, much easier market to enter as an individual than anything else. Like TV, for example, you have to have a TV channel, like a website, you create a blog, you get some people reading it, all of a sudden you have a vehicle that you can actually physically monetize. So I think what we're looking to do in the Web3 world is actually reward users for surfing the internet, because you have surfaced some of your data, you have made that available for people to bid on. So you should actually be paid for surfacing that data. There's a great quote in the Netflix show, The Social Dilemma, which is, if you aren't paying for a product, you probably are the product.
You're the product.
I don't pay for Facebook, so I'm the product, right? And I think that's unfair. And it's where you've seen a lot of backlash from a lot of people around these particular brands, and just surfing the web in general, like it's not just Facebook that have been bad for this, everyone's been bad. So by respecting the user, by understanding how they browse the internet on whichever device they find themselves browsing it on, and rewarding them for surfing that data, we may see fewer ads. There'll be the ads that are there are more engaging because there's less of them, frankly, and they're not annoying you as much, and then you get rewarded for surfacing data. It's as simple as that, I think, and that is a real lane shift for the internet in general, because it needs to be funded somehow. That is funded by advertising at the moment, and we need to make sure the internet stays around. It's an amazing invention.
Well, thank you so much. Been fascinating, and I know this is a fast-moving industry, so I look forward to updates from you.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me. This has been great.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Here at Glint, we're making money fairer. How? By using gold. Glint lets you store, exchange, send, and spend multiple currencies, including gold, through a simple iPhone or Android app. You can spend your currencies and your gold in small or large amounts using the Glint MasterCard. Register for your Glint account today by downloading the app from your favorite app store. Glint, the global currency.
Keeping your four-legged friends healthy can certainly be a challenge, especially with painful joint diseases like osteoarthritis. If you see a change in your animal's mobility, contact your veterinarian and don't wait. Today, veterinarians have a new tool against joint disease. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. The natural-derived product has the ability to help your animal move more freely. Put the spring back in their lives for a longer, happier life.
Cyber attacks are a global threat affecting consumers and companies. Whether you're using your computer or mobile device to bank, shop, or work remotely, your privacy and corporate data are at risk. For over 20 years, Strikeforce Technologies has developed some of the world's leading cybersecurity solutions. Millions of users around the world have put their trust in us to protect what matters most. Your privacy and data are your business. Protecting it is ours. Visit StrikeForceTech.com today.
Clones in-house can severely drain both quality and costs for cannabis and hemp businesses. PharmaGreen Biotech is the key to growing high-quality plantlets. PharmaGreen services includes premium tissue-cultured starter plantlets and live preservation of any plant species. Grow into the future of optimized plant growth with PharmaGreen. See our update at update.pharmagreen.ca.
Hi, everyone. This is New to the Street. I'm Anna Berry. Today, we're speaking with Sonar Resonance Labs Limited. We have Michael Wood, the Chief Financial Officer, and Cristiano Trofei, the Chief Innovation Officer. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, Anna. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks for having us.
Okay. So you've created a software that has simplified our crypto workflow, but you also claim to keep us sane throughout navigating it. Now, that definitely piqued my interest. I'm very intrigued. Can you tell me about what you've built at Sonar?
Yeah, for sure. So what makes us different, and actually our product, is, I think, the general approach. So we are not the only ones working working on usability. Although much of the project you see out there are still focused on foundational aspects, so safety, speed, and scalability, the crypto trilemma. But you already see some actors working on making things more easy to be used in crypto. But if you look better, what you see is actually that companies are building these walled gardens, these golden cages, where you actually have just a small selection of opportunities from the decentralized world. So actually you have the idea of being exposed to crypto, where actually you are not seeing but a tiny speck of the complete Web3. So what we are doing is to change the approach from the overprotective parent that limits yourself, not to make you risk anything, but we are trying, let's say, the cool teacher approach. So educating yourself through your path. So not limiting, but progressively disclose complexity as we help you to grow as an investor, as a crypto trader or interactor, because actually the financial aspects are just a part of it. So what we do is to give a bit more credit to the user, and what we want to do is to actually make crypto and the blockchain accessible, not the idea of crypto, and not actually telling you, okay, buy some crypto, but actually we are holding those, and you just can look here and there, and then that's it. But you are not accessing to the plethora of opportunities that this decentralized world is giving you.
Well, you said complexity a few times, and there is so much out there when it comes to information on crypto. Tell me how you're bringing it all together, especially with some of these tools that gives folks like myself trying to navigate this system, that DYOR, how we can do our own research and make informed decisions out there. Tell me how.
Well, I mean, in and of itself, the question itself is a little bit complex, because you say DYOR, do your own research. I mean, the one thing is that cryptocurrency is really in its own universe. So we did have traditional finance, you see stock market, bonds, all these things. And with cryptocurrency, it operates a little bit differently because, rather than being a physical asset like a brick and mortar company, where you can look at inventory and stock, and you can look at sales and income statements and all these things, we really haven't evolved so deeply into that traditional method with cryptocurrency. So trying to find the right information, what's important and what's actually impacting the value of a token or of a cryptocurrency or of a crypto asset is inherently a little bit more complex because it's fairly new. But with what we're doing is we do know where you can go and where you can find pieces of information. Now, this isn't any crazy knowledge. The problem is if somebody wants to get into the cryptoverse and look for these pieces of information, you end up using 6, 7, 8, 20 different tools to try and research an asset. And with the speed that everything moves, because of course it's digital, with the complexity of all of the references that you would have to cross-reference to really understand an asset, doing that by yourself is something that, as Cristiano and you both said, it is complex. But if you can bring all of that into one platform, if you can digest it and put it out in a readable format, this is something that Sonar is bringing to cryptocurrency. The idea is to be able to do your own research in a timely and efficient manner, because as of now, it can take far too long to really research what's going behind the asset. You're spending too much time trying to just find out basic information rather than actually interacting with cryptocurrency. So that's more of what Sonar is bringing to cryptocurrency and to common investors like you or like others.
Wonderful. It seems like you've really created a great product to educate people and give them an opportunity to join in the cryptoverse in a smart, informed way. So I definitely will be following along in your journey and look forward to interviewing you in the future once you fully roll out. So thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us on New to the Street.
Thank you so much, Anna. It was a pleasure.
Here at Glint, we're making money fairer. How? By using gold. Glint lets you store, exchange, send, and spend multiple currencies, including gold, through a simple iPhone or Android app. You can spend your currencies and your gold in small or large amounts using the Glint MasterCard. Register for your Glint account today by downloading the app from your favorite app store. Glint, the global currency.
Growing clones in-house can severely drain both quality and costs for cannabis and hemp businesses. PharmaGreen Biotech is the key to growing high-quality plantlets. PharmaGreen services includes premium tissue-cultured starter plantlets and live preservation of any plant species. Grow into the future of optimized plant growth with PharmaGreen. See our update at update.pharmagreen.ca.
Need hearing aids? Tired of paying $5,000 or more? Tired of making multiple trips to have your hearing aids adjusted? Now you don't have to. Our Hear IQ 4 medical grade hearing aids are fully rechargeable, Bluetooth compatible, and start at under $1,000 for a complete set or monthly payments of $44. Our hearing aids are self-adjusting using any smartphone and features remote programming by hearing care professionals without you ever leaving home. Order your pair today at myheariq.com.
Keeping your four-legged friends healthy can certainly be a challenge, especially with painful joint diseases like osteoarthritis. If you see a change in your animal's mobility, contact your veterinarian and don't wait. Today, veterinarians have a new tool against joint disease. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. The natural-derived product has the ability to help your animal move more freely. Put the spring back in their lives for a longer, happier life.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
We have with us the CEO of SportemonGo, the company that is building the world's best tokenized sports platform with an NFT marketplace and an impressive list of global sports stars as well. So with me, Ricky Jackson, to talk about the latest with SportemonGo. Of course, we've talked from time to time, but you began to move into the NFT space a little bit more aggressively, I think, since we last spoke. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jay. Nice to speak to you again too. We've opened up our NFT marketplace now, so it's real, it's live. We've released our first Premier League star we've minted them and released them on the marketplace. And we also have play-to-earn games, which is quite exciting, which is also on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. And then now there's Greyhound dogs, right? Explain what that is. How does that play into the company?
Well, it's a big sport in Australia and the UK, and it has been a sport in the US as well. Greyhounds racing. Of course, it's a little bit more dog friendly when it's in the virtual space. And it's, like horse racing, dogs, you can race them, you can bet them. And in our game, you can own the NFT. So you can own the dogs and the racetrack even.
Wow. So I can own a virtual Greyhound and bet on it at a race and make money from that?
Yeah, in the metaverse. Absolutely. Okay. So you can own the horse, which could win the race and you earn money there, or you could bet on someone else's dog and win there. And it gives everyone the opportunity to earn, even whether they're playing, owning the dog. You can rent a dog, train the dogs. You get lots of different ways to play and earn.
Oh, well, my husband would love that because he doesn't want a real dog, even though the rest of us want a real dog. So this works for people who don't want that. Yeah.
There's no poops and there's no hair on your couch.
That's right. You don't have to take him out for walks in the rain either. So is this metadog.racing? Is the Greyhound part of that or?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So it's metadog.racing is the website. And we're at the end of the first quarter, we'll have the game out. We're just in the stage of doing the beta currently. And, so that's the website, and then we'll release the game. And we look like we'll have it on various chains.
Okay. And then also there's some Grand Prix racing as well that you're working on. It would be kind of the same concept, right? A virtual.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it's Meta DeFi1, so DEF1 .racing. And that is going to be Formula Ones racing around various cities in the metaverse. And again, you can own the cars, you can bet on them, and, lots of other different ways you can play and earn in that game too.
Yeah. And then Ricky, just kind of for people who haven't seen our previous interviews, just explain the company. What all things are you involved in right now?
Yeah, so we're really an end-to-end sports company, going from everything from NFTs to fantasy sports to betting, all the way through to the play-to-earn games that we've described. And we've got a lot more on the drawing board that'll be rolled out throughout 22 and beyond. And, it encompasses 30 years of different sports that we've been involved in, from licensing, merchandise, marketing, collectibles, making games. And we've wrapped it up into this virtual space and now bringing a lot of brands into the metaverse as well.
Well, Ricky, thank you so much for joining us, bringing us up to date on SportemonGo, and we look forward to more cool things that you roll out this year.
Thanks very much for your time, Jane.
Here at Glint, we're making money fairer. How? By using gold. Glint lets you store, exchange, send, and spend multiple currencies, including gold, through a simple iPhone or Android app. You can spend your currencies and your gold in small or large amounts using the Glint MasterCard. Register for your Glint account today by downloading the app from your favorite app store. Glint, the global currency.
Need hearing aids? Tired of paying $5,000 or more? Tired of making multiple trips to have your hearing aids adjusted? Now you don't have to. Our Hear IQ 4 medical-grade hearing aids are fully rechargeable, Bluetooth compatible, and start at under $1,000 for a complete set or monthly payments of $44. Our hearing aids are self-adjusting using any smartphone and features remote programming by hearing care professionals without you ever leaving home. Order your pair today at myheariq.com.
Clones in-house can severely drain both quality and costs for cannabis and hemp businesses. PharmaGreen Biotech is the key to growing high-quality plantlets. PharmaGreen services includes premium tissue cultured starter plantlets and live preservation of any plant species. Grow into the future of optimized plant growth with PharmaGreen. See our update at update.pharmagreen.ca.
Cyber attacks are a global threat that affects everyone. For over 20 years, Strikeforce has developed leading cybersecurity solutions. Millions of users have put their trust in us to protect what matters most. Visit StrikeForceTech.com.
Secure provides secure email, instant messaging. The company's also coming out with some new features for business in 2022. So with me, CEO Alon Gahi, to talk about the company, where you're at. I know like every week it seems like there's an update. You've made some progress. But let's start with this CISA notice that went out today. That's the U.S. Cyber Information Security Agency, something like that. Yes. They have been warning about a bug in the federal system. What do you know about that?
Sure. Hi, Jane. Hi, everyone who's watching us. So CISA, I got to read it, is a Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Essentially, it is the federal agency that regulates cybersecurity issues. It's pretty important. And what happened is there has been several bugs, obviously, with Windows 10. And the latest one is something that that exploits the system without even somebody having to activate anything. So CISA has decided it has notified all the federal agencies to patch this issue no later than February 18. And The reason, obviously, they have patches every month. Every software has bugs, and it's always a refining process. It's not just Microsoft. Everybody has issues. The idea is to always patch up. And I think, personally, why CISA is getting on people's timeline now is because you have a lot of issues with cybersecurity, state-sponsored cyber attacks. We all know now that politically there's issues with the Ukraine issue. We don't know what's going to happen. You have several big actors. You have Russia, China, Europe, the US, and cyber hacking has happened. Ukraine was hacked a few times. So now it's kind of like prepping and holding down the fort, patching everything so there's no loose holes and any kind of port opens, because I think CISA is expecting, that's my guess, of course, they're expecting that, stuff is going to increase now, and we're at the beginning of the year. Cyber hack and state-sponsored cyber hack is going to increase dramatically.
Well, this is a dangerous world we live in. We've got an election coming up this year in the U.S. I'm sure that attracts additional cyber activity. And you and I have talked before about how many attacks there are just per week on these government institutions and universities seeking research.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the problem is that when there's cyber attack, they steal data, which is the IP of the U.S. So intellectual property, the tens or hundreds of billions of dollars that are spent by private company, by government entities. These other state-sponsored hacks just steal that info, and then they can copy anything and sell it for cheaper, or even worse, go back and figure out how it works and then hack the system you're in.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the company, because I know you have a ton of stuff, particularly in the first quarter. It seems like right where we are right now going on. Yeah. There was an audit. Can you update us on where that is?
Yes, so year-end audit for the December 31st fiscal year is typically due at the end of April. We have started our audit process, and we hope to close it by the end of this month in February, which is kind of unheard of to be 2 months ahead of time. And the reason is we have been pre-qualified to upgrade to the OTCQX. The only thing that we're missing really is our audited financial that shows at least $5 million of hard assets, which it will, because in 2020 we didn't have those assets. So we're pushing hard to get the audited financials done. So it's Q4 of 2021 and year end of 2021. I'm happy to mention that definitely the numbers are going to look like way better than 2020 because we started our sales in late July. And once that's done, we believe that extremely fast we're going to move up to the OTCQX. We're in touch with them, OTC markets, great people to work with. And then, of course, the ultimate goal is to go to the NASDAQ billboard. And I'm planning to come in New York, as you know, in the second week of March. I already have about 6-7 meetings lined up with investment banks and brokerages just to do presentations and telling the story.
We'll look forward to our discussion next week.
He's got the answers.
Show me a problem, and I'm going to show you a way out of it.
He's telling it straight.
I believe that a thriving America leads the way to a happy